Hello and welcome to CoinCast, where today I am joined by one of the founders of Altcoin Buzz, Shashwat Gupta. And today we're going to be talking about Altcoin Buzz, a channel on YouTube and a media organization that has over 200,000 followers, subscribers on YouTube, and lots and lots of daily views. And we're going to be talking about Altcoin Buzz to start with, and on top of that, the crypto market as a whole. Welcome, Shash.
Hey, Zach, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Very good.
Yeah, good. So you're one of the founders of Altcoin Buzz. So do you want to just give a bit of a background on Altcoin Buzz and where it started and what it's come from?
Yeah, sure. So Altcoin Buzz was like a fun project that Jeff started, and he's the original founder of the channel.
Yeah.
I was just a guy who was looking to do something in the crypto space, and I've been in it for a while, and I've been always been like, okay, what should I do in this space? And most of the time, like sort of an anthropologist, I keep looking for opportunities of things that can be done. And many of them didn't make any sense to me. So I had decided a while back, before even I, got in touch with Jeff, that I want to do something in the media space, because keeping yourself informed about this space was something that excited me the most, and keeping myself updated was something I was doing on a regular basis.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, and Jeff was putting out like regular content, and there were about 1,000 subscribers on the channel. So I reached out to him and I said that I want to do research. I want to do, the business part of it, the back end management and stuff. And we had like a couple of really long conversations, and then we started working together on it.
Okay, cool, brilliant. So back when it's quite hard to believe that they have 1,000 subscribers. How long ago was that?
This was September 2017.
So so that's not that long. So you've gone from 1,000 to around what, 212? Is it 1,000 now?
210,000 something.
200, like 210,000 in a really short amount of time. That's pretty exceptional. So, and I must just let everyone know as a disclaimer, I do videos for Altcoin Buzz and work with Altcoin Buzz as well, and you can check some of those out in the description below. But so, what's it like running the back end of a crypto site? So you're not really like Jeff is became the face of Altcoin Buzz. What's it like being in the background?
It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
It's been pretty much the same thing that I've been doing for a while, except just better. And with the markets being down right now, working harder has been like a bit challenging, but a lot of fun either. And I think with the way the markets are right now, like this new year, I kind of feel that we started from ground zero. So whatever we've done in the past, whatever we've achieved in the past it's something I'm attempting to throw out of the window, to restart and take that as something where we build on from.
Yeah.
So my job basically is still all about researching and finding out what's happening in this space, what's interesting, what is it that is catching the people's eye, and where the good technologies lie, where the good business lies, where the good marketing lies, and everything else that surrounds the crypto space, like any other industry, is exciting for me.
Yeah, cool. So because crypto is 24 hours a day, do you ever get to sleep?
No.
Yeah, I can imagine. And I mean, from me working with you guys, you're always putting news updates or up, and always saying, this is the next big news, this is the new thing. So it seems like you're definitely following all that news like all day. So what's it like, running both a bit of a YouTube channel and a site that puts out daily news? There's a lot of crossover there. So you're basically running you are running a media company. So what's that currently like?
Like I said, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is it is something that, see, the thing is that I come from uh, a similar business in the music industry where I was trying to do a 360-degree with music. And I
Yeah.
had a record label, and I had a recording studio, and I had artist management, and I had an events division and merchandising and e-commerce store and all
Yeah.
that jazz. And at that time, I was really young, and I was like in my early 20s and stuff. And I realized that I was in the wrong industry at the wrong time. So since that foray into business, I decided that I am going to keep learning more about how to, run a normal business and how to keep it sustainable. At the same time, figure out how I can be a part of an industry which is, one, growing, and second, has money in it, because the music industry is actually really small.
Yeah.
And especially if you want to work in the independent music sector. So about 3 years ago, when I got more serious about the crypto space, and I saw a couple of economic, I tried to understand economics better worldwide, and I saw there was demonetization that happened in India and stuff that went down in Greece, and stuff that's going on in Venezuela and stuff.
Yeah.
It kind of affected me to kind of see that, is there a possibility that a decentralized cryptocurrency could actually be an answer to these problems? And yeah, and though I had bought Bitcoin before, it was just a gamble for me because I didn't understand what I was buying. And then after spending a few months in it, it was pretty clear that this is something that is going to be of great interest to me personally. And and so I got into it. So going from there and being where we are right now, it's been a really fun journey for me, especially. I've had a great time. I've met such amazing people, entrepreneurs, people who've been wanting to do good stuff. And it's pretty simple, right? Like, if you are a certain way, you attract people who are a certain way as well. So I end up being, I end up getting along with similar people who are looking at the industry from not just how to fundraise perspective. And that's one perspective that repels me from this industry sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's really interesting. So you say your Bitcoin journey started probably, or cryptocurrency journey started, did you say about 3 years ago then? Is that 3 years ago?
Yeah. End of 2016.
Ah, cool. So around 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago. So what really drew you into the industry? Did you, as you said, was it demonetization in India, or was it more the whole global situation with fiat and crypto and currencies in general?
So what drew me was actually the fact that there was an upcoming industry which was really young and had money in it. Like, to tell you the truth, it has to be about money, right? Like, at the end of the day, the whole of cryptocurrency industry, no matter how people say they are passionate about it, it is all about the money. So that's what drew me into it. What kept me into it was the fact that it has so much happening in it. The amount of work, the amount of things that are being built in it, and also the fact that there are no best practices right now. Like, we have no understanding of why a supply of a cryptocurrency should be 1 million or 10 million or 21 million. Like, these are just no best practices from there to how to do marketing for it, how to do an ICO, and how to sell a coin, what should be the price of a coin, how to conduct the business the right way, how to register your company. Should it be a foundation? Should it be a charity? Should you have a company business which is separate and has a separate revenue in fiat and should be profitable, whereas there has to be a charity that manages the cryptocurrency accounts and stuff for the stuff? And should your cryptocurrency be a backbone of the business that you're building, or it may or may not have anything to do with the business? And I'm not saying that anything is right or wrong, but we just don't have these answers yet, and that makes it fascinating. And that's what hooked me onto it.
Yeah.
Learning. Yeah.
So you're on a journey to try and find out some of those answers, as well as joining the space at such a revitalizing space, and a space that's so exciting.
Yeah, surely finding people who find these answers for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. And if we just segue a little bit back onto Altcoin Buzz, then, as you said, it's grown rapidly since its inception, and it's now 210,000 subscribers, one of the biggest YouTube channels in the whole space, one of the biggest media outlets in the whole space. So, as you said about in January, you wanted to reset your goals because of this bear market. So, what's it been like spanning from the end of 2017 through this whole bear market?
It's been, I don't know, man. Like I don't have too much. I lose track of time just because I don't know when I sleep and I don't know when I get up, and like it's been so constant for me. Like it's been pretty relentless.
Yeah.
But like looking back at how things were before and where we are now. I feel like there was a time we had like 5,000 subscribers a day. Right now, we don't even get 5 subscribers a day. And is our content worse or better? Our content's definitely better. It's just that the interest of people hasn't increased. There are no new people coming in this space. It's the old ones that are mostly discovering what's going on.
Yeah.
So, now is the time to kind of figure out where is it that any business wants to be 2 years from now. And that's what I'm trying to do, kind of reset where we are right now to see where we want to be 2 years from now.
Yeah. So more of a long-term outset. So do you think, with this bear market and stuff, as you said, about, the content's better, but the interest isn't there. So do you think as we come out of the bear market, we'll suddenly see once again a large interest back into cryptocurrency, especially if we saw things like all-time highs? I think we'd probably see, a lot of interest once again into the space, and that could grow. Altcoin Buzz has put itself in a position where it's able to take advantage of that. Is that what you're sort of aiming for?
No, I think this is the market. I'm not looking for a bull market. I mean, the point is that living that dream is only gonna make it worse every day, because if I have the goal which is based on the industry becoming better or things changing drastically for it, I don't think I would know when that's gonna happen. So I that's what I said, right? We start from zero up. So we assume it's going to be like this going further. And we assume that this is going to be like a very slow rise over the years, maybe 3 years, 5 years, whatever. And if there is a bull market, great. Like that's going to help us. But I cannot build a company based on a hope of a bull market.
So I completely agree with you there. What I was trying to get at is, do you think if we did, maybe not a bull market, but if as the cryptocurrency space rises, or if it rises in value, do you think the interest will return to the market?
Yeah, it's one and the same thing, right? Yeah. Like it goes hand in hand. The price goes up a bit, people get enthusiastic, there is positive sentiment that leads to more price rise, that gets people more excited, getting more people into the space, more money spent because now the Bitcoin's not going to stop, it's going to go up, and then more money comes in and stuff, and so on and so forth it goes. So is gonna. I don't see too much happening like in the short period right now, primarily because we are where we were when the bull market happened, and the bull market of like 2017 and taught us that we're not ready for too much. We are promising NASA, whereas we're building wheelbarrows. So
yeah.
So it's not ready the space at all. There is so much that needs to be done, and that's what makes it fascinating, right? Like if you were at the inception of the Big Bang and you see the entire universe being formed, it's something every person in the, what is it called, astronomy, astrology, those guys look forward to. So it's similar for us, right? Like we're all students of cryptocurrencies in a way, of the blockchain business and technology in a way.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's a really interesting point of view. So is that your feeling? So that's your feeling on the overall crypto market at the minute, that it's not ready for large expansion? Or do you think certain projects are and certain projects aren't? Or do you think the crypto sort of investor is not mature enough yet to handle a large expansion?
Yeah, exactly. So the fact that we're looking for crypto investors is the big problem here. We're not looking for users. We're not looking for people to use a decentralized platform because they're not working too well. We're only looking for investors. So till the whole facet and people don't stop looking for investors and more money coming in and price going up, etc., we will be in this situation for a while. Even though the prices may go up, even though the valuations may go high, it doesn't change much. Like the industry doesn't evolve because the prices went up, and we've seen that before. So if we really want to see growth, people have to use products that make sense for them. People need to buy cryptocurrencies because they need to use them. And the way things are evolving right now, we need to start looking at each of these platforms as microeconomies. We need to start looking at all these dApps as, let's assume, websites or apps. And the valuation of the coin has to be linked with the utility of the coin within the platform, which has to be further linked with the number of people interested in using that utility within the platform. And such things are very theoretical right now. There is very little practical implementation of actual good products with good utility and good reason for people to buy that, especially in the real world. One of the coins that has a decent utility and has, in my opinion, gained mass adoption is the Binance coin. The Binance platform has, I don't know, millions of customers. I got into Binance coin when I opened my account on their platform, and I saw that the utility makes sense. The platform is going to be used. If there are more people that are going to come into crypto, they'll definitely buy it because they get a discount on it. And plus, Binance was allowing other coins to pay at a discount for listing and stuff, which gives it even more utility. Like, utility of a coin is for a microeconomy like Binance, its own ecosystem. And such ecosystems need to be created. Will Binance coin become the next Bitcoin? I hope not. And it shouldn't be aiming to become that. It's like saying, is an Amazon trying to become a IMDb? It's not. An IMDb is an IMDb and Amazon is Amazon. So they're both websites that have, fans for what they offer. And one can use both, but one doesn't need to compete with the other. And that's why, like, I genuinely feel that having these microeconomies, having tokens for these microeconomies is beautiful. But selling people the dream before anything is made, before you have users, and dispatching these coins out to the public is just a cheap way to not share your equity with VCs, but rather, give a coin so that you can hold all the equity of the company. And these problems are something that we never thought about till end of 2017. Like only when the ICOs started really going down, we started really thinking about, okay, what happened here? Like, why did we fail? Why has this trend died? And there is still very little analysis on what really happened to the space, because we're not learning much. So once there is more analysis, we get more information about how things can be done right. We will see some growth, and we will see projects that, without having done fundraise by selling coins, have given value to their coins, and also are not essentially trying to solve the problem of buying coffee at Starbucks, because every coin that wants to be a payment coin and wants to solve the problem of buying coffee at Starbucks, I feel that's not a problem that needs to be solved at all.
Yeah.
But having a token that adds community to your platform, incentivizes the users, gets various stakeholders within your business multiple, use cases. That's something that really is fascinating for me.
Yeah, so that's going back to what you said right at the start about learning, being in the space to learn which ways to go and what's the right way. And because it's a new space, we don't really know what's right and what's wrong at the minute. But do you think what you were saying about, we need to not get investors, we need to get users. Is that not a bit of a catch-22 as well that we're stuck in, because we're not going to get users really until we get a lot more people, and we're not going to get a lot more people until the price goes up, and when the price isn't going to go up until we get investors, but we don't want investors, we want users. So it's a bit of a sticky situation to be in, really, for the market.
No, that's because the underlying assumption in what you're saying is that the token needs to have a dollar value. And I'm saying the token's dollar value is irrelevant for a business to be successful. So the point here is that there are 1,000 of companies that exist that are successful, are doing really well, and they're doing it really well without having a token.
Yeah.
Can we have one of these companies have a token for their microeconomy that allows people to use a currency that is decentralized and can be taken out, and anybody who wants to buy it might be interested in having it in the open market? But leaving the valuation aside, the point I'm saying is that a good platform will attract users.
Yeah.
And a good platform that, whether it fundraises through VCs or whether it fundraises through token sale, is irrelevant. Because it'll attract people regardless of that. And that's the problem, right? Like, I was testing out Decentraland's platform the other day, and it was fun, right? I mean, buying and selling virtual land is awesome, but they have 14,000 apparent investors or around that number on their Telegram, and there are 47 users on the platform at the moment I was on it. And that was pretty sad, because that ratio is completely bonkers. Why wouldn't those people be on the platform and like playing with it? Why not 5%? Look at PUBG, man. How many people chat on PUBG forum? Barely. I don't know. I haven't been there. But people play the game. There are thousands and millions of people playing the game. So do you care about who's invested in PUBG? No. Do you care about the guns that you have in PUBG? Yes. And that's one of the way a user will look at it, because a user will not care how much the value of his gun is. He just wants to use it. That's really interesting. So you're saying that, well, I completely agree with you that, the company, it doesn't need a token to succeed. And, tokens, the value of a token isn't really indicative of the value of a company or a platform. I mean, we see a lot of companies that have just used ICOs as a fundraising tool, like you said, and that actually, I think, may be a mistake in the long run, because they're fundraising using a token that people are going to find out at some point that it's not worth anything, that the token is useless, and that's going to reduce trust in their own company. So what do you think of the ICO craze that happened probably through 2017 then? Coming from that point of view. Yeah, it was similar to the .com bubble we had, where people would just figure out any idea and say, we're going to make a website about it, and people would invest in it. And that was similar, right? Because so here's the thing, right? In a few months, years, creating your own token is going to be like 2 clicks. Like it wasn't easy to create a website when the .com bubble happened. It wasn't like people knew how to do it. So the few who did essentially became like a thing, right? So now we have quickly evolved into figuring out that, you can create tokens like 20 minutes. You can create your own cryptocurrency in 20 minutes. And many people still don't know that. Like I do a couple of talks and I meet a lot of people from the real world, and I meet enterprises from the real world, and I spend time with them trying to figure out how would they be interested in it. Would they be interested in a couple of cryptocurrencies that we've been talking about on our channel? And these cryptocurrencies are promising that they will have real world partners. And if these people who are the actual real world partners be interested in buying, holding, partnering up with these for serious. And it's been not a very pleasant experience for me so far. It's not been a very positive experience for me so far. And with the ICOs, we've seen that, that we weren't ready. People didn't think things through, and the investors didn't care. They just bought into anything that had, anything worthwhile in it. Like, it was.
Yeah. So do you, because of that, do you hold any hope out for the supposed SCO or the securities coin offering? Or, because I'm pretty skeptical of that in general, but I don't know what your perspective is.
I think STOs have very little to do with ICOs. It's like the internet. Let's imagine the whole cryptocurrency space like the internet. So you have email, and then you have games, and then you have websites, and then you have social media, and then you can do tons of things using the internet. You have WhatsApp, and you have, right? And they all are on the internet, but they don't essentially have much to do with each other, and they don't have to. So STOs is essentially something which is backed by another asset. It could be the equity of your company. It could be gold. It could be diamond, whatever. Right. So it's not fascinating for me because these things exist in real life already. Right. Course, So, 1 gram of, let's say 100 grams of tokenized gold is going to be the same value of 100 grams of real life gold. Right? So if the value of the tokenized gold goes up, let's say it becomes twice the value that it was because of trading and stuff, it's going to eventually come down to the same because it's not going to be worth more. So there is no fascination in it for me. Like it's not something I'll be like, oh my God, gold's tokenized and it's amazing and this is the best thing to look at. No, it doesn't. The fact that it's happening doesn't bother me. It doesn't excite me yet either. Companies providing services for these and providing exchanges, etc. They are still more interesting for me. I haven't bought or really looked at too many STOs, but one of the ones that I really like is Nexo. I use their platforms to test out and like do some money lending because I really thought Salt was going to do a great job at building the cryptocurrency versus money lending platform. But Nexo nailed it. Like their platform really works, and it was really good. Like I test a lot of platforms. I keep playing with everything which is out there, and usually I'm disappointed with the token utility, but sometimes people get it right.
Okay, cool. And I mean, before you said you've talked about Binance and you talked about how the value of a coin has to be sort of tied to its actual value in real life and what it can offer people. Do you think there are any coins that you can think of right now, or you want to say that you think are really overvalued or overhyped in terms of their valuation?
I don't know, man. Like this is above my pay grade, I guess.
Okay. Fair enough.
This is something I cannot delve into. I want to that, but that's the thing, right? Like my way of buying stuff is my way of buying stuff, and it has evolved over years of making and losing money in the crypto space.
Yeah.
And it's also about learning and about understanding and seeing what is right, what is wrong. And I have opportunities where I know something's gonna be going up. We know that, when the BitTorrent token came out and it was sitting at like 13 or 14 satoshis for a really long time, like 3 days, not a really long time, but so I had the
crypto space.
I had the opportunity to buy it because I knew it was going to go up. There was no way that was going to stay there for a really long time, and I didn't buy it. And I did kick myself about it. I was like, why wouldn't I do that? Like, why wouldn't I just get some? But then it's also, I fear of losing. So if something I don't understand, and I'm not saying it's a bad project or a good project, it's something I don't understand so well, and I just wouldn't buy it because I read the white paper. It made very little sense to me personally about the token itself. Like, of course, man, like everyone knows the protocol of BitTorrent, and everybody knows, the amount of users it has. I was going through Google Trends the other day, and BitTorrent is still like way highly searched in terms of trends than even Bitcoin is. So that was pretty fascinating for me. So when I saw that, okay, it is tokenized and sitting at that price, it would have been a good trade. I did kick myself after that a bit though. But then also what I am invested in, I understand them, and I know if I will lose money, I know exactly what the red flags are that will make me lose money in it. And I know if I make money and why I am invested in it. So I don't mind the slow 5-10% gains every once in a while, but losing 90% is not my cup of tea.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I don't think that's anyone's cup of tea, losing 90%. So if you don't want to talk about the overvalued ones, how about some of your favorite coins and why they're your favorite?
So my favorite coin currently, like I'm not very diversified. I do have a bunch of like projects that I am invested in. The one protocol that I really like is Tomochain. It's an EVM, like Ethereum virtual machine based protocol, and it's like they're trying to develop something which works faster and is more enterprise compatible than Ethereum is. And there are a bunch of projects that are developing on it, and I met a bunch of companies that are building and doing their coins and their development on the project also. That one's pretty exciting. I think it's slightly undervalued because I do feel that the technology and everything that they're building is far superior than many. They have a huge team of people. I think the one thing that holds them back is the fact that they haven't marketed themselves that well. But I think that's a good thing. Like personally, I don't like overly marketed products or coins either. They're marketing themselves the right way. They're not going overboard by making grand announcements and stuff.
Yeah.
So that I like quite a bit. One of my biggest holdings right now is definitely going to be GIN. Yeah. Because of multiple reasons. Yeah. One is their token utility makes the best sense in my head. Yeah. Any game that needs to develop on it needs to use their token to wrap around game items. The products that they have released so far, including their wallet, including the NGINX platform, everything that they have is really high quality. The team's relentless, like whether it's whatever, man, these people keep making all the time. And very impressed with the work that these guys have done. And the next reason why it is something I really like is the utility is fundraising as well. And coins or tokens that are used for fundraising will always go up in value. That is something that I have like realize that if the utility of a project is that it will be used for fundraising, and they're getting traction. So there are like 19 or 20 games that are being built on Engine right now, all of them using Engine as one of the ways for them to raise money for the platform.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. And the fact that their coin, after it's fundraised, can further be used to make game items out of using the ERC-1155 protocol. At the same time, these game items can be used within various games. That is something that nailed it for me. Like, really, what Binance, the feeling I had when I bought Binance in 2017, I had a similar feeling when I've been buying Engine for the last few months now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, cool. So those are two of your really hot picks, I suppose, at the moment.
I have few that I really like as well. Like I really like good platforms and people who bring out good products. Like the Tomo Chain wallet is actually so smooth, man. Like just using it is such a delight, right? Like the product is good. And the fact that the other companies are the ones building on it are raving about it as well and are excited about the technological support that the Tomo Chain team is giving them.
Yeah.
That's great, man. Like that's awesome. That's all I needed to know, right?
Yeah.
Then, some of the other ones that I have is I like Howdo. That's a social media platform which is coming up, and I've been playing around with their app. I think it needs a lot of work right now because it's really in early beta right now. But they have a bunch of content creators that they're signing up. And those content creators, I believe, is going to bring their audiences to their platform. And that user base is what I'm looking for. And a possibility of that is what I'm willing to invest in.
Yeah.
Plus really, really low market cap. So
It does. Bigger rewards if it does well.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, cool.
It's something that I'm pretty excited about as well. What else do I have? Give me a second. Let me open my portfolio. Let's do it. So I have some Ethereum, of course. I have Ethereum. I have Stellar. I have Binance Coin.
Yeah.
I have Monaco, which is crypto.com.
Yeah.
I have their card as well. I use it. It's a pain to spend Bitcoin to buy coffee right now, but I do it. I have SafeX. That's one of the projects I advise as well. And Daniel is a dear friend of mine. So I bought it. It's an honorary position, so I don't get paid or anything for it.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like a bulk of my portfolio. And then I have like 20 other coins in smaller quantities.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So that's really interesting then. So in terms of if we just segue into a lot of those coins are platforms and obviously decentralizing certain aspects of life. What is your opinion then on, say, bank coins? Like we've seen I know the JP Morgan coin isn't going to be a publicly available coin, but if other banks then start coming out with their own cryptocurrencies or their own tokens, what's your opinion on that?
Why not? It doesn't hurt anyone. So the JP Morgan coin is a stable coin, and even if it comes out, it's bank backed dollar to dollar equated stable coin. The fact that Jamie Dimon said Bitcoin is a fraud is the only reason why I would like make a joke about it. But besides that, having a cryptocurrency which is backed by, JP Morgan banks, stuff like that, it's actually good. I don't know, USDT had so many issues before, and I don't even know how many people still trust USDT, although they have proven themselves to be fine so far. But like one more stable coin is not going to hurt anyone, and it's just USD backed, right? Yeah. So the only issue that could be, and this is the problem with stable coins, right? I can make a stable coin and say this is backed by $1, and I can make 1 million of them when I don't have $1 million. And I can just give it around to people and say this is backed by $1 and take Bitcoin in return for it. and the scheme can continue forever. This is $1. It may be, or I would say it's backed by $1 million. Show it in my bank account, then take it out from my bank account. But the point I'm trying to make is that these things are fictional. The way I'm saying it can be done is fictional because the reserves are actually very well audited and stuff, and at least I hope so. Yeah. But it doesn't hurt, man. It adds no value. It doesn't take away any value from cryptocurrencies is the way I genuinely think about it.
Okay. So if not just JP Morgan coin, so how about central bank coins then as well?
If they are dollar backed and they're stable coins, there are just more ways to trade against cryptocurrencies, right? Like it doesn't hurt anything.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
Like it doesn't bother me at all. For me, it's like you can have any currency in the world having a cryptocurrency which is backed by the currency, and that's another currency that can be traded using Bancor.
Yeah, it's just like a decentralized version of their fiat, really. Rather than you transferring your digital funds through a bank, you transfer your digital funds between two wallets. That's basically the thing. So what do you think about sort of government regulation? Because there's two camps currently in cryptocurrency, really, that split down the middle. There's people who really don't want any regulation at all, and there's people who want to see regulation and institutional regulation as well. Where do you sit on that fence?
I believe the government's job is judiciary and administration. So these are the two things that the government needs to do right. Aspects of cryptocurrencies that hamper or need to be fixed using judiciary and administration that the government needs to do are the ones that they need to regulate. That means anybody who's selling drugs using cryptocurrency, that guy needs to be caught. It's not like you need to ban cryptocurrency. At the end of the day, a cryptocurrency is like a knife. You can use it to cut a man's throat, or you can use it to cut vegetables, right? It's not it doesn't work good or bad. There's no gray area with it. How you use it is how it is. So anybody who has a cryptocurrency cannot be considered a criminal because that person has done nothing wrong. And the fact that some governments are looking at people having any cryptocurrencies as having an illegal tender need to think twice about how they're going to stop a protocol which is running on the internet and cannot be stopped by them at all. With that being said, I do feel that the governments must regulate the areas where the problems are. For example, exchanges. There are thousands of them right now, and many of them just are going to be closing down very soon. Many of them will just run away with the money of people that they hold because they are all centralized and the keys to the wallets on the exchanges are all with them. That needs to be fixed. Anybody who's doing illegal transactions using an exchange, etc., needs to be fixed. And regulation should be anywhere where there is an issue, a human error, right? Like at the end of the day, cryptocurrency is a trustless ecosystem, and trustless means that the only error that will be is from the man side. So regulate that stuff, man. Like the problem is that when the government start looking at every individual, like, okay, you need to tell me how much you have in your bank account because you don't want to pay your taxes and you're a criminal. That's not the government's job. The government's job is not to start pointing fingers at everybody and looking at them from a criminal eye. Especially democracies.
Cool. So do you think there is any risk at all? Because I've seen this a few people say this, that there's a risk that governments say maybe not the US, but maybe some other countries just completely ban them outright. Do you think that's, and I mean, someone like John McAfee will say that even if they do that it's not going to stop anyone from using them, which I tend to agree slightly with that point of view. But do you think there is a risk of many governments just completely banning them outright?
I think another question above my pay grade, man. Okay, I have thought about it. I have thought about it. but it's something that I don't have very clear answers for.
Yeah.
I hope not,
Yeah. I mean, from my perspective, I don't think it would be in their interest to do it. Unless they're and that in a democracy at least, I don't think it would be in their interest. For maybe a country that's completely isolationist, that doesn't have any want to trade with the outside world, which is no country nowadays, that it might be in their interest, but there are no countries like that. So I personally think that it would be outside their interest to do that. And I think what's been positive is we've seen quite a lot of governments be quite receptive to it. I mean, the US is moving reasonably quickly for the US actually on the crypto side. I mean, the UK, me personally, I live in the UK. The UK government's been really receptive to it, which is good for me. So I think it just all depends on your government, I suppose.
Yeah. I think it's hard for me to think about this question because in my mind, I always feel that the government is the extension of the will of the people. And maybe that's being a bit too,
idealistic.
Yes. But I don't understand why the governments need to have a problem. Like, what is the agenda that a government has, which is not for the welfare of the people? So if the governments want to do good for their citizens, they should really see where the good and the bad and the ugly is, and then fix the bad, remove the ugly, and promote the good.
Yeah.
If they feel that their economics or the entire economy is going to get threatened by it, then it's the economy that they have that needs to be fixed that is so easily threatened. I live in Singapore, and the government's, in my opinion, completely fine with it.
Yeah.
The banks have a bit of an issue with it. In fact, I know for a fact that the government has been spending a lot of time, effort, and resources into understanding how the entire ecosystem of cryptocurrencies work. They're working with institutions and custodians to write actual laws that will make it easy for such businesses to take place. And the reason they do it is because they make their country run like a company, and they want like the best for it. Whereas other countries, they're either lazy and complacent, and they just don't care about the people, and they're like, okay, if I just ban it, then I won't have to deal with this problem. But
yeah. I mean, it's, as you said before, it's a decentralized system that runs on the internet. It'd be pretty hard to ban, and even if they censored the areas of the internet where it's prevalent, there's still the dark web that they can't regulate. So, it would be rather silly, I think, of them to do that.
No, regardless, right? The point isn't that they can or they cannot.
Yeah.
The perception is everything. Right now, we are at a $100 billion market with tons of platforms, tons of coins having over $500 million, $1 billion, $100 million. No. Yeah. Convert all that billion into million. So much money into no product, into issues with the software, in protocols that don't work fine, into decentralized apps that have no users, and there is still a lot of money in it. So it is about perception. So if a government was to ban it, the effect that it would have would not be about, oh, I'm going to still use it. Like, it's not like, Zach is going to be like, UK banned it, so I'm going to still be having all the crypto. Yay, you can't do anything. I have it. It doesn't mean anything. What it will affect is that the moment you want to go around selling it, you won't find a buyer. The liquidity is going to reduce. The trust of the people who would have come into the space is not there anymore. The value is going to devalue itself further. So that is what we need to keep in mind. The problem, again, is that if we're still trying to solve the problem of buying coffee at Starbucks, and the best partnership one can have for a cryptocurrency is being able to buy coffee at Starbucks or buying, stuff at Amazon, then it's not solving a real world problem. It's not innovating anything which hasn't been innovated before.
Yeah.
And payment systems are extremely great right now. Like in Singapore, PayWave with Visa works beautifully. Everything
Stripe,
works
PayPal.
fine. Yeah, they work, man.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, if we just start to wrap up here, start to move towards the end, do you think that the bear market itself is going to last much longer, and do you think that the future is in fact bright for crypto, or do you think it's going to take a little longer than what most people think?
This is the market. This is not a bear market. This is the market. This is how we need to look at it. What happened, the whole spike up is something which is done and over with. It may or may not come back again. So if people are willing to stay in it, even if it moves slowly from here on up for the next 5 years, you should. If you're waiting for like a huge bull market because of something like the halvening or, a product coming out or something like that, it's gambling with your money right now. So the idea here is to be aware of what's happening, to figure out how you can make money without investing, trading, or raising funds, and how to make yourself relevant in the space. That's the key right now. I'm not sure when we will see a bull market, although I pray that it's going to be around the halvening time. But it's happened so many times before that I don't predict it's going to repeat itself. Though I don't know, man. Like these questions, I'm like the worst guy to answer. I don't know when things are going to happen.
No, of course. No, I'm not saying anyone knows the future, and I no one knows the future. But yeah, I just wanted to get your opinion on whether you thought, it's the future is bright, or, for the space in general.
Yes. I mean, that's a guarantee, man. Like I'm super excited every day with what is happening in this space. I learned so much every day. I really see some amazing people, some amazing teams developing such beautiful products, such fascinating ideas are coming into this space. Money is coming in as well. It's not showing right now. It's because they will show it once they start spending on media to promote the investments that they've done. They're accumulating. Like the big money is accumulating right now, and that is something I know because been speaking with a lot of people. I go to almost all events that happen around town, and there are a lot of those that happen. And I genuinely feel that things are going to be great. And that's why I stay excited every day. Plus, I think users are going to come in as well. Like there will be a couple of projects that will allow people to get into it even without caring about the fact that there is a token that has an investment value in it, and then eventually be forced to look into it because of their peers telling them that, hey, you use this platform, but you don't have this token, you could get a discount here, or you can do this and you can do that. And they're like, oh, I can. And then they buy that. And then more people get in, the value goes up, the platform starts doing even better and stuff. So,
Yeah, cool. Brilliant. So we'll just segue on to the last question then. So what's next for Altcoin Buzz? Are we going to be powering forward all the way? As you said, you were looking long term. So what's next for Altcoin Buzz?
We've always, like, being a media company so far, we've always thought we'd be more like a CNBC or CNN of crypto, but just better, like, more fun. But then I've realized that is not the direction that I really want to head into. I want to focus more towards being like the IGN of crypto, not gaming per se, but more towards the use cases, more towards how can an everyday man or woman can interact with cryptocurrencies without having to, invest, trade, or buy cryptocurrencies. Like, how can you have your first foray with crypto without having to invest it? How can you use it? What can you do in this space? And I feel that that's going to be a turning point for us, and that's where I want to head into over the next few years. Is shift the business model towards becoming more user base rather than investor base, and it's something I've been working on. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Brilliant. So I think that's everything. There was some really, really insightful and interesting opinions and points of view and facts in there that I really enjoyed discussing and listening to. And I think anyone who's in the crypto space at the minute will have taken a lot out of that conversation. So thank you, Shash, for watching. Thank you, Shash, for joining me.
Hey, Zach, it's so nice to speak with you always, and thank you for having me over.
Yeah, no worries. And anyone who has watched this, make sure you like, subscribe, or if you're on Apple Podcasts or any other podcasting site, make sure you download the podcast, give it a listen, and make sure you stick around for more podcasts. We've got plenty more where this has come from. Thank you very much for watching or listening. Zach, over and out.